earth was once again firm beneath us, we flopped our sodden bodies on the sand, chests heaving and eyes on the pure blue canopy above. "I told you not to go out so far," I panted, squinting against the glaring sun. "But I saw the biggest shell, Reese," he said, his voice small and contrite. "It was rolling out with the waves. I couldn't let it get away." "And you should drown yourself for a shell? You have plenty, Lucio, a whole collection. But no, you must listen to me and not wander off," I said, hoping I sounded enough like our aunt Jacame that he would take me seriously. "You might have been dragged out to sea had I not seen you go under." Angry tears burned the backs of my eyes. Lucio was silent. His wide eyes, one green, one brown, watched me as I railed at him, and the shock of what had nearly happened caught up to me. "We only have each other," I whispered, digging my fingers into the gritty sand. "What would I do without you?" With a sob, he flung himself over me, his arms winding around my neck. "I'm sorry, Reese. I only wanted to get the shell for you. It was a purple one like you like." The rest of his explanation was lost as his tearful apology muffled against my wet tunic. I sat up, pulling him into my lap and gripping his sea-soaked body tight against me. I kissed his head, salt on my lips, as I took a deep breath and reassured myself he was safe. The sea hadn't taken him. We were together, and we were both safe. A shadow moved over us, and I looked up to find Jacame frowning at us. "If the two of you are quite finished playing in the water, there are baskets to carry home." "We weren't playing," Lucio began. "Of course," I interrupted, not wanting my aunt to know I'd been closing my eyes and humming through the song I'd learned from Atsuva instead of watching my brother. I'd been trying to practice the strange melody and the words in the foreign tongue our Hebrew slave spoke to us whenever my aunt and uncle were not around. Pushing Lucio from my lap, I stood and brushed sand off both of us, then turned a bright smile on my aunt. "How can we help?" "There are 3 baskets of goods, and that old woman only has 2 hands," said Jacame, as if such a thing were an affront to her. "You children can each take one." My mother's sister was not unkind to us, but there was little warmth in the woman. The deep lines between her eyes attested to a lifetime of furrowed brows, and she had none of the graceful beauty my mother had been famous for. Still, she had been more than generous to take us into her home 5 years ago, when my father dumped us, along with Atsuva, at her threshold before he boarded a ship for the last time, heading back to the distant northern shores his ancestors hailed from. Not wanting to chance being separated from Lucio for anything, I dutifully gripped his hand in mine and followed my aunt back up to the market near the port, vowing to never again take my eyes off my brother. He was my responsibility, and had been since our mother died, giving him life. I loved no one in this world more than Lucio. Atsuva, the slave who had been with my family for as long as I could remember, stood waiting for us, 3 large baskets at her feet. Although her expression remained neutral, her deep brown eyes flitted to my brother and me, relief in their murky depths that made me wonder whether she'd seen Lucio go under the water. The old Hebrew woman saved her smiles and stories and songs only for Lucio and me in private. To Jacame, she displayed only blank-faced submission, as was expected of her. Like me, I suspected she would do anything to please my aunt, not wanting to jeopardize her position in the household. Once the 3 market baskets had been distributed, mine full of fish,